Have you ever stared into the mirror and not recognized the man staring back at you? Not in some movie, not in some dream, but in your own bathroom on an ordinary Tuesday when the mask slips and you see what you've become. That's the moment when truth cuts through the lies you've been telling yourself. The fire in your eyes that once burned with purpose has dimmed to embers. And if you do nothing, those embers will turn to ash, and you'll spend the rest of your life as a hollow shell of what could have been. But there's still a spark inside you. I can see it. The question is not whether it exists. The question is whether you have the courage to feed it, to protect it, and to let it consume everything that's been holding you back. I reset. Burn the past. You cannot build a fortress on quicksand, you cannot forge steel from clay, and you cannot become the man you were born to be while chained to the ghosts of your past. Every failure that haunts you, every betrayal that scarred you, every mistake that shames you, every rejection that broke you, they are not your identity, they are your firewood. Most men wear their past like a badge, don't they? They drag it behind them like a corpse, allowing yesterday's defeats to poison tomorrow's victories. They let old wounds fester rather than cauterize them. They choose the comfort of familiar pain over the uncertainty of new strength. But you are not most men. The Stoic warrior understands a truth that eludes the masses. Your new self owes nothing to your past self. Nothing. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius wrote these words not as comfort, but as a battle cry. The obstacle is not your enemy, it is your path. That relationship that destroyed you, burn it. That failure that humiliated you, burn it. That betrayal that blindsided you, burn it all. Not to forget it, but to transform it. Fire does not eliminate, it converts. It takes what was and transforms it into energy, into heat, into fuel for what will be. Your past is not wasted if you use it to forge your future. This is where most flinch. They cling to comfortable narratives about why they are the way they are. My father never believed in me. My ex broke my ability to trust. I tried once and failed, so why try again? Nay. These are the chains you forged link by link, day by day, excuse by excuse, and now they're so familiar you've mistaken them for limbs. Therefore, you must sever these ties ruthlessly, reset the inner contract, begin again. Delete the contacts, burn the letters, sell what reminds you, move cities if you must, not as escape, as tactical repositioning. The phoenix does not rise from the ashes by accident. It chooses the fire. Choose yours. Your reset is not running away. It is running toward the man you were born to be before the world told you who you should be. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" Seneca prescribed this voluntary hardship not as punishment, but as liberation. Strip away the comforts, sleep on the floor for a week, delete social media for a month, fast for 24 hours, cold showers only, run until your legs scream. Why? Because comfort is the enemy of growth, because the man who can voluntarily embrace discomfort cannot be controlled by the fear of discomfort. The reset is not gentle, it is not meant to be. Fire is not gentle, rebirth is not gentle. But on the other side of that fire waits the man you've caught glimpses of in your strongest moments. The man who knows his worth. The man who keeps his word, especially to himself. The man whose handshake is a binding contract and whose gaze never wavers. He is waiting for you. He has always been waiting for you, but he will not wait forever. Secondary start, rebuild with fire, Restarting feels like weakness to the ego, doesn't it? The mind whispers, if you were strong enough, you wouldn't need to begin again. This is the lie that keeps men trapped in mediocrity. The truth, restarting is not the absence of strength, it is the birthplace of strength. When the road crumbles beneath your feet, the Stoic doesn't curse the journey. He builds a better road. First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Epictetus was not suggesting gentle self-improvement. He was commanding a complete reformation of being. Look around you. The masses are paralyzed by the fear of starting over. They stay in dead-end jobs because they've already put in 5 years. They remain in lifeless relationships because they've already invested a decade. They continue down paths they hate because the alternative, admitting they must turn around and begin again, terrifies them more than a life of quiet desperation. But you see what they don't. The man who cannot start again remains trapped by his first decisions forever. And how many of your first decisions were made by the weakest, least informed version of yourself? When you restart, you bring to the beginning line everything you've learned from every failure. You are not the same man who failed before. You are the man those failures created, stronger, wiser, with eyes that see farther. This is where everything changes, but only if you embrace the restart as a tactical advantage, not a shameful retreat. Most will freeze here. The unknown terrifies them more than the slow death of potential they're already experiencing. They'll stay in burning buildings rather than leap into open air. Therefore, begin again on purpose, fiercer, wiser, stronger. The restart demands ritual, it demands ceremony. Write down everything you're leaving behind, not just circumstances, identities. The victim, the nice guy, the people pleaser, the procrastinator. Every label you've accepted that limits what you're capable of. Then burn the list, not symbolically, actually burn it. Watch the flames consume what you were. Now write what you're becoming, the builder, the provider, the protector, the creator, the leader. Write it in the present tense. I am, not I will be. This is your contract with yourself. Sign it with blood if you have to, with sweat at minimum. The restart is not words, it is action. If you say you're restarting your health, I should see you in the gym before dawn tomorrow. If you say you're restarting your financial life, I should see every unnecessary subscription cancelled by nightfall. If you say you're restarting your relationships, the toxic ones should be ended before the week is out. Words without actions are the refuge of cowards. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca knew that the anticipation of pain far exceeds the pain itself. The restart you fear will not destroy you. The refusal to restart will. The man who masters the restart becomes unstoppable because his failures are no longer endpoints. They are data, they are fuel, they are necessary steps on the path to mastery. Fall 7 times, stand up 8, not as a cute saying on a coffee mug, as iron law. Real men, stoic warriors, rise from rubble, not from comfort. They are forged in fire, not preserved in safety. Restart now, not when you feel ready. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a myth told by those who never begin. Begin now with fire. 3. Refocus, obsession over distraction. The modern world is a battlefield designed to destroy your focus. Every notification, every headline, every new streaming show, they are not innocent diversions. They are calculated weapons aimed at the most precious resource you possess, your attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Most men live scattered lives, their energy dispersed across 1,000 minor concerns. They check their phones 150 times a day. They switch tasks every 3 minutes. They live reactive lives, responding to whatever screams loudest for their attention. And then they wonder why, at the end of a decade, they have nothing of substance to show for it. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius wasn't offering philosophical comfort. He was describing the battlefield advantage of the disciplined mind. The Stoic warrior understands that in a world engineered to distract, single-minded focus is not just valuable, it is revolutionary, it is rebellion. But focus is not passive. Focus is not what remains after distractions are removed. Focus is what you choose to give your life force to, regardless of what clamors for it. This is where the masses fail. They wait to feel focused. They blame their environment for their scattered minds. If only I had a quiet office. If only my kids weren't so loud. If only I had more time. The excuses of the weak-minded. Therefore, you must go to war against scattered attention, tunnel vision, one mission, one fire. Delete the apps that steal your time. Block the websites that drain your focus. Turn off every notification except those that would signal actual emergencies. Your phone should serve you, not make you its servant. Create sacred time blocks in your day that nothing violates, not your boss, not your friends, not even your family except in true crisis. 2 hours of deep work on your most important project is worth more than 8 hours of distracted effort. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, Seneca warned. The average man will spend 4 years of his life looking at his phone screen. 4 years. A college education. Gone, scrolling through other people's meals and opinions. What could you build in 4 years of focused effort? What mountain could you climb? What empire could you create? What legacy could you forge? The refocused man becomes dangerous to mediocrity. He accomplishes in months what scattered men fail to achieve in decades. Your focus must become legendary. When you work like a man possessed. When you train with such intensity that others become uncomfortable watching you. When you study as if your life depends on mastering the material, because in many ways it does. Most lives scattered, wasting years on minutiae, chasing whatever shiny object appears before them. But you will focus like your soul depends on it, because it does. The focused man is an anomaly in the modern world. He stands out like a lion among sheep. Not because he was born different, but because he chose different. Choose focus, choose obsession, choose to direct your life force with the precision of a laser rather than the scattered light of a broken bulb. Your focus is a weapon. Sharpen it daily. Wield it without apology. Fourth, protect. Guard your energy. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your presence. Not everyone deserves space in your mental kingdom. This truth feels harsh only to those who have never valued themselves properly. There are people in your life right now who drain you rather than fuel you, who take without reciprocating, who speak of dreams but live in complaints, who promise but never deliver. They are destroyers disguised as friends, parasites wrapped in the comfortable cloak of nostalgia or obligation. The masses give their energy away freely, as if it were infinite. They spend hours with people who leave them feeling depleted. They engage in conversations that go nowhere. They sacrifice their vitality on the altar of politeness or fear of judgment. And then they wonder why they have nothing left for what matters. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Epictetus wasn't suggesting gentle preference. He was issuing a survival mandate. The Stoic warrior guards his energy with the vigilance of a king protecting his realm, because he understands what most do not. Your energy is your most sacred resource, more valuable than money, more precious than time. Because without energy, money and time are worthless. But this is where weakness creeps in. But he's been my friend since childhood. But she's family. But what will people think if I cut them off? These questions reveal inverted priorities. The question is not what others will think of you. The question is what you are becoming by maintaining these connections. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't motivational fluff. This is observable reality. Their standards become your standards. Their energy becomes your energy. Their ceiling often becomes yours. Therefore, cut them off. No lengthy explanations. No dramatic confrontations. Simply remove your presence from their orbit. This isn't cruelty. This is survival. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. Seneca understood that true connections should be mutually ennobling, not parasitic. When you protect your energy, you will be called selfish by those who benefited from your selflessness. You will be called cold by those who warmed themselves by burning you. You will be called arrogant by those who mistook your boundaries for ego. Let them. Their opinions are irrelevant to your becoming. The man with protected energy becomes unstoppable. Because while others deplete themselves on meaningless interactions and emotional vampires, he conserves his force for what advances his purpose. Your energy is the fire that fuels everything you do. Guard it like the sacred flame it is. Discipline. Burn brighter than excuses. Motivation is for amateurs. Discipline is for warriors. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some days it rains inspiration. Other days the skies are clear of all drive. If you build your life on the foundation of motivation, you build on shifting sand. Discipline is the bedrock beneath the sand, unchanging, unyielding, unstoppable. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius wasn't offering poetic metaphor. He was describing the neural pathways carved by repeated action. What you do daily becomes what you are permanently. The disciplined man does not ask himself if he feels like doing the work. He simply does the work. He has removed emotion from the equation. Rain or shine, inspired or exhausted, celebrated or ignored, he shows up, he acts, he delivers. This is where the masses fail. They wait for the spark of motivation before they act. They need to feel it before they move. They require external validation to maintain internal drive. And so their lives become as inconsistent as their feelings. Up and down, start and stop, promise and abandon. The undisciplined man is at the mercy of his emotions, and emotions make terrible masters. Therefore, you must build daily habits like bricks in a fortress. You must become the man who never stops. Discipline is not punishment, it is power. When you do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel about doing it, you develop a superpower that less than 1% of men possess: reliability. You become the man who keeps his word, especially to himself. You said you would train 5 days this week. You train 5 days. Tired? Train anyway. Busy? Train anyway. Not feeling it? Train anyway. You promised yourself you would write 1,000 words daily. Write them. Blank mind. Write anyway. Negative feedback? Write anyway. No immediate results? Write anyway. You committed to cold calling 10 prospects every morning. Call them. Rejection yesterday? Call anyway. No one answering? Call anyway. Fear knotting your stomach? Call anyway. But I'm not motivated today. Good, this is where you separate yourself from the masses. Anyone can work when inspired. Warriors work when depleted. But it's hard. Good. The difficulty is the point. The resistance is the gym where your character grows stronger. But I don't see results yet. Good. This is where faith is forged, not religious faith, faith in the process, faith in yourself, faith that the actions of today are creating the reality of tomorrow, even when the evidence is not yet visible. Discipline is the ultimate act of self-respect. It is the declaration that you will not abandon yourself, even when the path grows dark and the rewards seem distant. Most quit at the first wall, the first plateau, the first true test of their resolve. But you are not most men. You are building something greater than temporary success. You are building an unbreakable will. You are building a man who cannot be stopped by external circumstance because he has conquered the enemy within. The desire for comfort, for immediate gratification, for the easy way. There is no achievement of lasting value that was not built on the foundation of discipline. Build yours daily, brick by brick, action by action, day by disciplined day. The crossroads, rise or rot. This is the moment, not tomorrow, not someday, not when you figure things out or when the timing is right. Now the path splits before you. One direction leads to a slow, comfortable descent into mediocrity, the safety of lowered expectations, the warmth of excuses that others will eagerly validate. The other path leads through fire, through pain, through resistance and doubt, and the endless temptation to quit. But beyond that fire waits the man you glimpse in rare moments of perfect clarity, the man you know you could be, the man who lives without fear, without apology, without the constant weight of potential unfulfilled. He is not a fantasy. He is not a dream. He is you, stripped of everything that is not truly you, everything weak, everything borrowed, everything false. The choice between these paths is made daily, hourly, in each moment of decision between comfort and growth, between distraction and focus, between excuse and execution. Most will choose comfort today and pay with regret tomorrow. They will choose the path that demands nothing and delivers the same. They will die with their music still inside them, as Thoreau warned, their fire extinguished not by some great blow, but by the slow creep of compromise after compromise after compromise. Is that what you want? To take your final breath, knowing what you could have been, what you could have built, what you could have experienced, if only you had chosen the harder path? Or will you choose the fire? Will you choose rebirth over rot? Creation over consumption, purpose over pleasure? I shall meet today ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, uncharitable men. All of these things have come upon them through ignorance of real good and ill. I can neither be harmed by any of them, for no man will involve me in wrong. Nor can I be angry with my kinsman or hate him, for we have come into the world to work together. Marcus Aurelius began each day with this meditation not as philosophical exercise, but as warrior preparation. Prepare yourself the same way. The world will test your resolve daily. It will offer you 1,000 reasons to abandon your path, to lower your standards, to accept what is rather than create what could be. And in each of those moments, you must choose again. Choose the fire. Choose the man you are becoming over the comfort you are leaving. Reset what needs to be erased. Restart what needs to be rebuilt. Refocus what has become scattered. Protect what gives you strength. Discipline what makes you unstoppable. The man in the mirror isn't lost. He's waiting for you to choose. Choose now. Choose fire. Choose to rise. Because the alternative isn't standing still. It's decay. It's watching the slow death of what could have been your most extraordinary life. You were not born to be ordinary. You were not meant for mediocrity. There is a fire in you that has survived every attempt to extinguish it. Feed it now. Let it consume everything that is not worthy of you. And from those ashes rise, not someday, today, now this very moment, rise.